Welcome to a journey into the unknown, where reality blurs with the supernatural. In this video, we'll uncover 35 of the creepiest paranormal sightings ever caught on camera. From eerie apparitions to unexplained phenomena, these chilling encounters will leave you questioning what you believe. Let's dive into the world of the unexplained. This man's home welcomed the creepiest things deep into the night. When he ran out to see it, it was too late. Late, in the middle of the night, the homeowner hears a weird sound. He gets out of bed. There's a blackout. He uses a flashlight and walks down the stairs slowly. A creaky, scratching sound keeps ringing in the house. He's scared and stumbles down the stairs. He flashes the light in the living room. It's empty, but the sound is there. He sees two small objects with four legs like a stool. Their legs move, making the creaking sound. They keep moving, scaring the man more. Trying to be courageous, he runs to the stools and kicks it. This sighting might be the creepiest of all. Some men came face to face with an entity they could not imagine. It's late at night, and these men are heading home. They notice something following them. They stop, looking at an abandoned home surrounded by shrubs. As they watch the house, something animalistic with glowing eyes shows itself at the top of the house. The man backs away from the house. The man wonders if it's a skinwalker. The creature is not afraid. It climbs up to the ledge of the roof, lightning fast, watching the men. They go closer to investigate. As they leave the house, the skinwalker appears again at the top of the building. They decide to run. A mother and her infant were just resting, but something creepy had to join them. This is a lovely scene. The mother is in bed, scrolling through her phone while the baby is in his crib, sleeping. This should not be a cause for alarm, yet something is lurking nearby. The woman scratches his head, her attention still on her phone. The cover on her, which spills over on the bed, begins to move on its own mysteriously. Something is trying to get into bed with her. She rises in shock. She runs out of bed, then carries her baby and leaves the room. She and her baby shouldn't be in the room. This household had something living with them. This footage proved it in the creepiest way possible. In this house, popularly known as Jay's household, the security camera captures a chair in the house mysteriously moving on its own. It's almost as if something is sitting on it, moving it to face the camera recording it. The chair stops moving for a few seconds and then continues moving, almost making a 360. The chair stops fully when it's facing the door. Whatever is in the chair might be approaching the door. Behind the door is the household. This sighting occurred in a place you'd not expect. How things panned was chilling. The librarian was arranging books on the shelf but left to take care of other things. The book rack is alone. Weirdly, the rack begins to roll down to the other end of the shelf, as if pushed slowly by something invisible to the camera. It stops at the end of the shelf. It looks as if it isn't going to move again. Then things get creepier. A book flies out of the bookshelf like it is pushed out by a strange force. It fails to fall into the rack, falling to the ground. The school administration never imagined what they'd see on the security footage after seeing the damage to the school. This footage is from a school on the south side of Cork City. It's been rumored that it's haunted. Soft sounds sounding like feet hitting the floor ring out intermittently. Down the hallway, a flash of light appears with the sound of running. Then the light flashes again, and a door slams close. One of the shelves mysteriously moves back and forth like a force is pushing and pulling it. It stops. The little poster on the ground flies off the ground, landing back loudly on the ground. This creepy footage would have you clutching your Bibles. What appeared in this home is the weirdest thing ever. The family has gone in for the night and is asleep. The security camera records a high-pitched bird-like laugh from somewhere close to the house. A figure appears in the compound out of nowhere. It's fully clad in white with a long broom in its hand. The figure rises and goes around its circle with its broom. The figure looks at the house, dancing to invisible music. Birds and dogs cry out loudly. The figure sets the broom to the ground. It makes a back and forth motion on the broom. It waves it to the house. It continues. This family thought they could safely talk about some issues in their home. They tried, but what happened was chilling.
Did you like the bicycle and stuff you got for your birthday?
Oh my God, Tommy, it's gonna start again. Oh, I'm gonna take it.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Come on.
The family is gathered by the dining table in the kitchen. The man is talking about someone's birthday when the tap comes on. The woman recording expresses her distress at what's happening. He turns off the tap and embraces his daughter.
God damn! Oh God!
What the hell is going on? Go to the front room. Go to the front room. Let's go.
Oh God! Oh my God!
The woman wants them to leave the house, knowing it's not safe. As she's speaking, the cupboards open, spilling out cutlery and other metal kitchenware. The girl screams. The cupboard drawers come in and out before falling out. The spirit in the house is throwing a tantrum. Workers in a warehouse could not believe what they saw with the sun still out and kept puzzling over it. In broad daylight in this South African warehouse, an apparition runs from one shelf to another so quickly it's a blur. The apparition can't be made out, and no one would have seen it if not for the security camera. The clip is slowed down to try and make out the ghost. From the clip, the ghost is a diminutive figure running to hide. Before it gets to the next shelf, it disappears. This creepy appearance is hard to explain. When everyone is out of school, do you know what happens? This footage shows a creepy occurrence that'd scare you from school. In the hallway of this school late at night, something huge and terrifying jumps or falls, making a horrifying smacking sound. This occurrence causes the camera to shake. while later, a chair mysteriously levitates from another chair. The levitating chair drags its back on the wall. It hangs there and then falls back on the other chair. A bag on one of the shelves flies to the ground. Nothing else moves. Abruptly, a poster on the wall seemingly yanks itself off the wall, falling. The mother had tried to protect her child as best as she could, but she seemingly forgot something important. This would prove fatal.
I think the ghost is back.
The young boy is on his phone when the vacuum cleaner suddenly starts flying back and forth by his bed. He rolls off his bed, calling for his mom. The object falls to the ground, but the boy stays in the room, trapped.
No, my God, no!
The mother runs into the room and takes her son out of the room. She keeps saying, "Oh my God." Her reaction shows that this has been occurring regularly now. She needs to find the cause of these mysterious activities in her house. She just wanted to sleep, but her sleep took a wild turn as something creepy showed itself. After a long day, the woman enters her room. She sets her phone on the drawer and goes to bed. Soon, she's asleep. The door to her closet creaks open. The door opens fully and a ghost walks out of it. Its shadow fills the wall. Strangely, it pulls the cover off the woman and the bed. The bedsheet is now on the floor, but the woman is still blissfully sleeping. The ghost pulls her by her legs off the bed. She wakes up as it pulls her into the closet. She screams as the door closes on her. Few can communicate with ghosts, but this man tried, and you'd be shocked by its response. The man is alone in his home at night. He hears strange loud noises coming from his kitchen. He goes to check it, finding the drawers open and a glass cup falling to the ground. Picking it up, he finds it unbroken and thanks the invisible being who did it.
Right, crazy noises coming from the cutlery drawer. Oh. Right, okay, well, that was a glass.
He requests that the entity do something that can be captured on camera. It seems to listen to him, and it levitates the cover of a pot, flipping it over. For certain, he knows that an invisible being is in his home.
Come on, do something, please.
This bizarre sighting happened in front of a cathedral. What's troubling is how things panned out. Several men in comical theatrical suits mysteriously stand on thin, flexible rods that sway back and forth with them. They don't fall off, rather. It's as if an invisible force is keeping them afloat. In the background is a cathedral shrouded in mist, making this scene quite ominous. They keep swaying in the wind, and the people on the ground are gripped with awe. Some record this occurrence while others enter the field where these creepy beings are. A child is also there without their parents. This man went to the gym and had the creepiest experience of his life. This footage was filmed in 2021 as this man is alone in the gym. He does a couple of stretches to warm up for his exercise. While stretching, his back is to gym equipment, so he doesn't notice as some hanging lines start swinging automatically. Rather, it's as if something is pulling them.
The year is 2021 at a gym in Asia. Regular stretching routine, just getting a workout in, when some weird things start happening.
He's done stretching and is about to start exercising. He approaches a rack and a ball rolls on the floor with nothing visible pushing it.
Getting getting done stretching, about to start lifting some weights, and that medicine ball, that's when it grabs his attention. What was that?
He returns to his bag, grabs it, and leaves the gym. Suddenly, an angry force flips him on his back, yanking his legs. This home had something strange living it in, and this footage found it. It's a quiet morning in the house. The man sees a cardigan on the stairs in the living room and takes it, knowing someone must have slept and left it there. He wraps the cardigan around his arm, leaving with it. Unknown to him, something is still there. Everything looks normal for a few seconds, then a ghost or something more sinister appears to be flying out of the wall. It glides away, disappearing from view. No one in the home would have known about this without the security camera. Worse still, are there more ghosts in the house? All was going well and fine till he moved. Then all hell broke loose. In this man's home, he searches for something in a pile of clothes and he finds it. He places the scissors on the table, glances back for something, then picks it up with some threads. He's walking to the exit when a bucket flies off a shelf, almost hitting him. Stunned, he walks back to the table, setting the scissors and threads down. He is at a loss for what to do or how what happened occurred. He scratches his head in frustration, seeing no visible sign of what pushed the bucket. She wouldn't have believed what happened without this footage, as a demon manifested itself shockingly. The woman sleeps deeply, lying on her back. The duvet is off her body. Although she looks peaceful, she might be having a rough sleep. Her body moves a bit involuntarily. Her body then rises from the bed, as if something is pulling her. She fully levitates off the bed. Still, deep in sleep, the demonic entity in her home is trying to take control of her, or probably hurt her seriously. Strangely, she gently returns to the bed, her sleep not disturbed. This is troubling, as there's no idea what the demon is up to. Was it in the air or did it follow her in? No one can tell, but what happened as she entered the elevator will disturb you. The woman is trying to get to the first floor of the building. As usual, she gets to the elevator and presses the button. The doors open and she enters, then presses the number of the floor she's heading to. The doors close and the elevator rises. Weirdly, the woman scratches her hair, swaying on her feet. She drops her purse, placing her hands on her face. Something deeply upsetting is happening to her. She stumbles out of the elevator as if drunk. She drops to the ground in the lobby. She hits her head on the ground. A creepy was biding its time at an unlikely place. When the man got there, he fell into the trap. The man goes to one of the refrigerators in this shop. He opens the door and picks a soft drink. He's about to close the door, but something seemingly takes over him. He shakes violently, still gripping the door. The woman behind me sees this, scared. He lets go of the door, dropping his drink as the possession progresses. The woman runs away. He makes strange, yowling sounds as she sways and fights against the possession. He pulls on his shirt, grunting and groaning as the demon fights harder to take over his body. Brace yourself for this ghastly sight. Whatever possessed the woman was too strong and too wild, causing irreparable harm to an innocent. Shockingly, this woman is crawling up the wall of this building with her bare hands and feet. She is pulling a girl single-handedly with her. The girl screams, but the woman doesn't let go of her and brutally shakes her as she climbs higher up the wall. She gets to the top of the building, far off the ground, and stops. She lifts the girl over the ground and screams, and lets out a terrified scream. The demonized woman drops the girl to fall to her death. Cops ran into the wrong type of person and came in contact with the supernatural.
Ma'am, put your feet in so we can close the doors.
There's something strange and worrying about this woman. The cops just arrested her after finding out she is part of a human trafficking ring. She has a weird look on her face, and despite the handcuffs, the cops are still careful around her. They ask her to enter the car and take her leg from the door so they can close it. She doesn't react.
Hey, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Back up. Back up. Back up.
They try closing the door, and she lets out a feral growl, trying to jump at the officer. He closes the door on her face while asking her to calm down.
Get your foot back in there. Get your foot back in there. Ma'am. Ma'am, we're going to have to tase you. You're not going to like that.
I don't understand what you're telling me.
She claims not to understand what they are telling her. An officer tries pushing her into the car, but she's stronger than him. Light ought to be a source of security, but what if it becomes your worst nightmare? Take a look. The family is asleep this late at night. A strange light floats around the compound from the car to the building. This light or some other entity seems to be trying to find something. It doesn't find it and floats away from the house. The light doesn't appear again, but the homeowner reports that his dogs kept barking throughout the night while this occurred. Creepily, this light activated the motion sensors of the security camera. The light could be a ghost or something that can affect the physical world. The woman had just opened the shop and had no idea of its history. On a fateful night, the unexpected revealed itself. This clip is from a newly opened shop in Atlanta. It's in the middle of the night and the security camera records the sound of something, maybe a beast by the sound of its breathing echoing in the shop. The TV in the shop comes on, automatically switches onto a channel, and begins to play. The voices coming from the TV add to the creepy atmosphere in the shop. A weird being is currently in the shop messing around with things there. While no one was paying attention, a stranger or something scarier forced them to reckon its presence. It's quite late at night, and someone, a man by the look of him, walks barefooted in the backyard of the house. He slowly walks past the cars, heading to one of the other buildings around. He makes no sound. The person, probably a ghost, walks past the stairs of the house and gets to a car. The figure then seems to be in a static film and vanishes. From speculation, this might be a ghost trying to get energy from physical objects to recharge itself. Although the place was deserted, a creepy being had to make itself known. It's been a long day and everyone has gone home, leaving the building deserted. With no one around, something decides to show itself. It almost looks like a speck of dust catching the light. It just appears, floating. The speck of light flies into a corridor, leaving the camera frame. The workers would not have known of this, but when going over the security footage the following day, they saw this. Speculations are flying around about what it might be. This happened in nature. Though nature can be weird, it should not be this creepy. This bug ought to be dead with its insides practically non-existent. Yet somehow, it is on its feet, walking. You might be asking, how did it turn out this way, or what did this to it? However, a better question would be, what is moving the insect? It keeps walking through the woods, its little legs failing it. Although it's moving, it doesn't have the same strength it used to have. A possible suggestion is that something is using it as a vessel to move around. The insect is a walking dead at this point. It's said ants can carry things 4 times their weight, but this ant defies all logic. This ant is dragging the corpse of this lizard, probably back to its colony. This raises a lot of questions. How can the ant do this? This is a creepy and rare sight. This ant might have also killed the lizard. It won't be so out of the realm of speculation, as the ant already has an unnatural strength to drag the lizard. Even when a human is around recording this, the ant doesn't run away. Rather, it's determined to drag the ant back to its colony. You might be wondering now, are there more ants like this, or is this a unique occurrence? While they were partying, a creepy thing decided to bust in. It announced itself in anger. In this clubhouse built in the 1850s, some friends gather and have fun. Some of them are in the kitchen, sorting out the drinks. You can hear the chatter of other people's conversations. Everyone's attention is on what they are doing, and the fan whirls above them. A guy in a suit walks by. The guy passes, and everything looks normal. Suddenly, on the shelf in the kitchen with 2 metal cups, their covers fly off of them, falling into the sink. The sound catches their attention, and some people come to check. This creepy museum acted as a lodestone to an ominous entity. It showed itself chillingly. At about 6 a.m. in this museum, the security camera records a normal situation. A glass shelf standing prominently in the museum houses a couple of 400-year-old human bones. A constant droning sound fills the museum, and some stuff falls to the ground from one of the shelves. This spills the human bones to the ground. What caused it doesn't appear on camera. Nothing else happens, and the entity that broke the shelf doesn't show itself. It's still roaming the museum. According to available information, a 40-year-old cave near the museum was just open to the public, which might explain the haunting. He was home, relaxing, but as a creepy sound got louder, he had to check it.
Okay, it's like the middle of the day. I'm the only person in the house, and just
In the middle of the day, while alone at home, this man hears footsteps downstairs. This shocks him as he lives alone and has invited no one. He opens the door and looks downstairs. The sound of footsteps is louder now. The footsteps don't sound human. This doesn't stop the footsteps from growing louder as the things making them seem to want to run over to him. The man runs back from the stairs and a door close to him closes. He tries to talk to the thing and enters the room whose door just closed. He doesn't find it there. A lab worker had a hard time explaining what happened. That wasn't the end for him as things got creepier. In this distillation lab, the worker takes a bucket with a strange substance in it to a machine. He pours it into the machine and looks at something in the room. On the table, a capped bottle slides off and breaks on the ground. The man drops the bucket and goes to check on it. He leaves and calls a colleague. The colleague doesn't believe him as he explains the strange occurrence. The man is now alone and is cleaning the spill. Another bottle edges to the edge of the table, about to fall. He looks at it and pushes it back to the rest. Another creepy animal footage that would leave you questioning all you know. What can you guess from this clip? How this fish is surviving is mind-blowing. A much larger predator fish has taken a huge bite out of it, yet it swims as if uninjured. Weirdly, there's no blood oozing from the injury. Examining it closely, the fish is having some issues swimming as it can't use its full strength. The pain leaves it gasping, but it pushes through, intent on surviving or maybe being controlled by something possessing it. A worker on the roof had no idea his ladder was going to come alive and do something creepy in front of him. The ladder is walking. That obviously sounds bonkers, but it's true as the footage shows. Maybe something is possessing the ladder or an invisible being is moving it, but it's still true that the ladder is walking. The ladder tips to the side. The ladder stops for a fraction of a second and then continues to the edge of the roof. It doesn't stop in time and falls from the roof to the ground. The person recording finally makes a surprise sound. A father and daughter were talking, but something had to add its voice to the conversation.
My ball.
He's not catching ball with you?
Yeah.
You need somebody to play ball?
Baba.
The man is talking to his daughter with his headphones on. He hears a sound and turns to look at the source. He takes the headphones off one ear. The sound stops and he returns to talking to his child. The door of the refrigerator opens, and as he looks back again, he sees it closing. He takes his headphones off and walks to the fridge. The door opens violently this time. Scared, he backs away. The daughter keeps talking on the laptop as the father runs away.